For decades, the H-1B visa has been a stepping stone to the American dream for many of India's brightest minds, a ticket built on years of study, long hours, and the hope of a career in the United States. Now, that dream has hit sudden turbulence. On September 19, 2025, President Donald Trump signed a proclamation that raised the filing fee for new H-1B petitions from roughly $2,000 to $5,000 to an eye-watering $100,000. The change took effect just 2 days later, on midnight on September 21st. By rule, the sponsoring employer, not the applicant, must pay the bill, and the hike applies only to brand-new petitions. Current visa holders and renewals are exempt, but the ripple effects have been immediate. The White House argues the new price tag will curb abuse of the program and push companies to hire Americans first. Officials say some firms have used H-1Bs to bring in cheaper labor, squeezing out domestic graduates in science, technology, engineering, and math. Critics counter that the fee is less a course correction than a brick wall. No group feels that wall more than Indian professionals, who normally secure about 70% of all H-1B approvals. Many chart their entire education around the visa, often starting with a job at an Indian tech giant like Tata Consultancy Services, in hopes of a United States placement. Overnight, that carefully laid plan became a six-figure gamble. The scramble began as soon as the announcement broke. Some H-1B holders vacationing abroad rushed back before the fee kicked in, abandoning weddings, family visits, even funerals. Inside the United States, HR departments went into crisis mode. Should they absorb the cost, pass it on to clients, or cancel offers altogether? Big tech firms, Amazon, Google, Meta, Microsoft, have the cash to swallow a $100,000 filing fee, though even they balk at the precedent. Smaller companies and startups simply can't compete, effectively locking them out of the global talent market. Economists warn that instead of boosting United States hiring, the policy may accelerate offshoring. If bringing talent to America becomes prohibitively expensive, why not send the work abroad? Over time, fewer foreign innovators in United States labs could mean slower growth, fewer patents, and less dynamism in Silicon Valley. India's government has voiced concern, calling the move a potential humanitarian crisis that could split families and derail careers. Yet some in New Delhi see a silver lining. A policy that keeps top engineers at home could finally stem the brain drain and fuel India's own tech ambitions. Other nations are seizing the moment. China, for instance, has rolled out a K visa aimed squarely at young STEM graduates, allowing them to live and work there without a job offer. As Washington raises barriers, Beijing lowers them, betting that displaced talent will look east instead of west. The fee hike is only one piece of a larger puzzle. The administration has floated reshaping the H-1B lottery so applications tied to higher salaries jump the queue, a move that would sideline recent graduates and favor deep-pocketed employers. For countless Indian professionals, a pathway they spent years preparing for now looks like a mirage. Whether the policy will create more American jobs or simply reroute global talent remains to be seen. What's clear is that a single signature has transformed the H-1B from a symbol of opportunity into, as some applicants put it, a cruel joke. The long-term fallout for United States innovation, for India's tech ecosystem, and for thousands of individual lives is only beginning to unfold.
A routine maintenance check at Charlotte Douglas International Airport has turned into a grim mystery. Shortly after 9 a.m. on Sunday, September 28, 2025, technicians servicing an American Airlines jet that had just arrived from Europe opened the landing gear bay and found a body. Police were called immediately, and the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Homicide Unit is now leading the investigation. American Airlines and airport officials say they are fully cooperating. So far, authorities have not released the victim's name or even the exact city where the flight originated. The county medical examiner will perform an autopsy to confirm the cause of death and, they hope, establish the person's identity. The discovery underscores how perilous it is to hide in an aircraft's wheel well. First, the compartment is unpressurized. As the plane climbs to 30,000 or 40,000 feet, air thins and oxygen levels drop. Hypoxia, oxygen starvation, quickly sets in, bringing weakness, tunnel vision, loss of consciousness, and often death. Then there is the cold. Temperatures at cruising altitude can plunge to negative 63 degrees Celsius or negative 81 degrees Fahrenheit, cold enough to freeze exposed skin in minutes and bring on severe hypothermia. Even if a stowaway somehow endures both the thin air and the deep freeze, the landing gear machinery itself poses lethal hazards. Wheels retract into the bay after takeoff and can crush anyone hidden inside. On descent, the gear extends, and a person lucky enough to be alive faces a final danger, a fall of several hundred feet to the ground. Because of these combined threats, the odds of survival are vanishingly small. The U.S. Federal Aviation Administration has recorded 113 wheel-well stowaway attempts between 1947 and mid-2015. 86 of those people died, a fatality rate of more than 75%. Experts believe the real number is higher, as some bodies may be lost at sea or in remote areas. Yet, on rare occasions, someone beats the odds. Just last week, a 13-year-old boy from Afghanistan endured a 90-minute flight to India in a wheel well. In 2021, a man survived a journey from Guatemala to Miami the same way. Some researchers speculate that extreme cold can induce a hibernation-like state, slowing metabolism enough to let a person survive low oxygen for short periods. Still, these cases are extraordinary exceptions. The incident in Charlotte now raises urgent security questions for the airport at the flight's departure point. How did an unauthorized person reach the tarmac, climb into the landing gear, and remain undetected during pre-flight inspections? Investigators on both sides of the Atlantic will be looking for breaches in perimeter fencing, gaps in surveillance, or failures in aircraft checks. Wheel-well stowaways are almost always driven by desperation, escaping violence, poverty, or political turmoil, and willing to risk everything for a chance at a different life. As officials work to identify the victim found in Charlotte, the broader human story hangs in the balance. Who was this person? Where were they hoping to go? And what circumstances compelled such a perilous gamble? Those answers may emerge in the weeks ahead. For now, the discovery in a dark, frozen landing gear bay stands as a stark reminder of the extreme measures some people will take, literally clinging to the underside of an airplane in search of safety or opportunity.
In Des Moines, Iowa, an unexpected story is unfolding at the crossroads of immigration enforcement, public safety, and school leadership. Dr. Ian Roberts, superintendent of Des Moines Public Schools, the state's largest district, has been placed on paid leave after his arrest by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. According to ICE, the incident began Friday, September 26, 2025, during a targeted enforcement operation. Agents say that when they approached Dr. Roberts, a citizen of Guyana, He fled in his school-issued vehicle, abandoned it near a wooded area, and was later taken into custody with help from the Iowa State Patrol. ICE reports that he carried a loaded handgun, a fixed-blade hunting knife, and roughly $3,000 in cash. Federal law bars anyone without legal status from possessing a firearm. ICE further states that Dr. Roberts entered the United States on a student visa in 1999, and the immigration judge issued a final removal order in May 2024, and, according to the agency, he had no legal authorization to work in the country. News of the arrest rocked the Des Moines community. Hired in July 2023, Dr. Roberts was the first black superintendent in district history, overseeing schools that serve about 30,000 students. His resume includes leadership roles across the country, and even an appearance at the 2000 Sydney Olympics, where he ran the 800-meter race for Guyana. The day after the arrest, the Des Moines School Board voted unanimously to place him on leave. Board Chair Jackie Norris said members were unaware of any immigration issues and had relied on a third-party background check that focused only on criminal history. Dr. Roberts also completed the standard federal I-9 form, affirming he was a U.S. citizen. Associate Superintendent Matt Smith is now acting interim leader. Reactions from officials were swift. An ICE spokesperson labeled Dr. Roberts a public safety threat. Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds called the situation shocking and said the State Department of Education will review the district's hiring practices. Inside the district, however, many colleagues and community members are rallying behind their superintendent. Local and state teachers' unions released a joint statement praising his leadership and compassion, calling him a beacon of light. Supporters have organized rallies highlighting the tension between federal enforcement and community sentiment. The case also raises broader questions. The firm hired to vet Dr. Roberts says it was instructed only to check criminal records, not immigration status, exposing a gap in high-level hiring procedures. In addition, the district had previously learned of a 2021 Pennsylvania conviction in which Dr. Roberts pleaded guilty to having a loaded firearm in his vehicle and paid a fine, an incident that, at the time, did not disqualify him from the superintendent job. For now, Dr. Roberts remains in Woodbury County Jail, represented by a private law firm, while his immigration case proceeds. Des Moines Public Schools must navigate uncertainty, reassuring families, maintaining day-to-day operations, and addressing questions about how such a serious oversight occurred. The coming weeks will determine not only Dr. Roberts' future in the United States, but also how the district rebuilds trust with its community.